and welcome back to the Meet the Eatmons Endangered Species podcast. We're your hosts, Curtis and Spring Eatman, and we're very excited to be here today.
Yes,
And
we
so,
are.
yeah, absolutely, right? And so, this is our podcast where we like to inspire, uplift, spotlight individuals, families, people that we think are doing something special in the world, and also talk about topics that we think that are important to the endangered species. So,
Yes.
what are we talking about today, Curtis?
We're going to talk about small acts, big love.
Mm,
Okay. And we're going to talk about our really micro gestures, the key for a long lasting relationship.
okay.
Okay.
I
So
like that.
when we start talking about micro gestures, by definition, so we're all on the same page, it's a small intentional act of kindness.
Hmm.
Okay. Such as maybe affection or thoughtfulness that communicates love, care, and appreciation in our relationship.
Okay.
So like what are some examples of micro gestures maybe?
So that might be like a warm smile, meaningful glance during the
There you go.
day.
That's right. Give me that glance.
Yes, like a. Yeah.
Good part.
It might be saying thank you or I appreciate you, things like that. It might be leaving a sweet note or sending a quick text saying thinking of you or I love you, or it might be sending flowers. It might be bringing your partner some coffee or a snack when they haven't been asked to do that, or maybe even a quick touch, like holding hands, gentle back rub as you pass each other. So those are some examples of micro gestures.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So I guess that was like her hint. She was reading so many at me. She was like, just do one of them. All right. Just
No,
give me a micro
baby.
gesture. All
You're
right.
good at
Give me
these. You're very
give
good.
me a gesture. So I think this will be a good conversation, and I think it's going to help a lot of couples, even if you're not in a relationship yet, knowing what to do when you get into one
Hmm.
as well. So, one of the first things I want to bring up in our segment is, are we losing the magic of like a grand romantic gestures by focusing on the small stuff?
I think that there's two schools of thought here because I think that people are starting to realize that like big things, big gestures, all the bigness, as important as or as great as it feels, unfortunately in the economy today, people are not making as much money, people are not making ends meet as much, and so I think people are realizing what really matters,
Hmm.
and they're focusing more on the small stuff, the small micro gestures that are important. And I think personally, I prefer micro gestures consistently
Okay.
over one big grand gesture, on holidays.
Gotcha.
Like
Yeah.
I think that it's important for you to let your partner know throughout your day that you love them, you're thinking of them, these things like that kind of stuff. That's the stuff that speaks to me. Somebody could spend money all day buying flowers and sending chocolates and get in a limo and standing out of the door with the flowers, or
Yeah.
making some huge elaborate dinner, and that's nice every now and then, but I think it's the little things that create the bigness of a relationship and the security of the consistency that's been happening throughout the relationship that makes you feel loved. Like
Mm,
one of the days, like Valentine's Day, that's one of the days that I think everybody is like big gestures,
yeah, for
right?
sure.
But to me, I feel like it's such a it's such a oversaturated, celebrated, like it's marketed. It's such a marketed day
Yeah.
that it feels like this is when you're supposed to love me.
You bet if you don't, we have a problem. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I think throughout the day, like on a random Wednesday, when you come home with my favorite candy bar, or you
Okay.
come home with a card that just says, just because I love you, or, you just grab my feet and just just start giving me a foot massage. Like those micro gestures, I think are huge because it just shows that you love me and you're thinking of me and that I matter to you in throughout my day. And it doesn't have to be about money. It just is about our love. So
Mm.
I think that's a big deal. On the other side of things, I don't feel like grand gestures in this social media world are being left behind.
There's some big ones,
I
yeah.
think that they're even starting to be over marketed because so many people are on social media that it's almost like a show.
Hmm.
And I almost feel like it becomes disingenuine when it's always these big things that I'm showing everyone that I did this. It's because I want a pat on the back.
Yeah.
It's not because I actually am doing this out of love, right? I don't know.
Hmm.
What is your thought?
I think I got two thoughts on this one. I think, interesting enough you say show, because if you're putting on social media, it basically is a show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was just only intimate between me and the partner, then I wouldn't need a camera for it. So
Right.
I'm looking for viewership of it
Mm-hmm.
or some type of recognition of it, or you wouldn't be showing it.
Right.
So it doesn't mean it's bad. Maybe inspire someone else to do things. I get it. It can be, your motive doesn't only have to be I just want some viewers or some likes. It can be like hopefully I can spark someone else to go do something like this for
Mm-hmm.
their
Or maybe
their
you're just so
spouse.
happy that you enjoyed it that you want to share.
Yeah, you want to share
Yeah.
exactly what happened. So I understand, what the motive can be, but also then I understand that when you consistently offer small like gestures consistently, kind of what you're just talking about right now, that it will build like emotional security for the person that you are connected to.
Uh-huh.
I think emotional security, especially for your spouse, is like one of the most important things because ultimately, like the spouse is looking to be feeling stable, secure, protected, and provided for. That's my job to provide as a man to you. So if I can provide what you most importantly are always looking for, which is emotional,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because women are driven by emotions, we're more driven by physical or visual. If I can give you that emotional security and not insecurity, and by offering those gestures, I think you're definitely a head up in regards to how your relationship's going to look long term, and those sows you definitely have, those seeds you have sown, should I say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So if your partner is looking for this little kind gestures or, kind acts every single day, do you think that that deepens love or do you think it adds pressure to the relationship?
Pressure.
Mm.
If they're looking for it every day, versus giving themselves those like, so for example, like if I want love, I'm not going to consistently keep asking for love. I'm going to give love first, because whatever you give you shall receive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a law. It's a principle. So if I'm always looking, where's my gesture versus giving gestures,
Mm-hmm.
then therefore you're ultimately going to give it back in return. I think you will be more fulfilled in it, but if
Mm-hmm.
you're, I think it adds a lot of pressure. Like, for example, if you were on me every day, like, when's the last time you gave me a card? Like, when's the last time you gave me a candy bar? When's the last time you gave me some flowers? When's the last time you got to start playing songs like that, or you had to consistently write notes like that, or even have a direct conversation like that? That adds a lot of pressure to the receiving, spouse. Like, wow, okay, so you just always want something,
Right.
like versus out of the kindness of my heart, I want to give you something. I think even if you were the one receiving it, do you want the gesture to be given to you through pity?
Right.
Like, do you want
Right.
pity gestures? I mean, just because you asked for it now all of a sudden I'm sending you flowers on a rotation, and just clicking it, just say, hey, this is recurring now, and now you got flowers sent to you every Friday because that's what you want. Maybe that's what you want, but now it's a pity gesture versus like, I want to see you some flowers,
Yeah.
just because.
I think that's so funny because, obviously I'm a fan, guilty pleasure of Love is Blind, right? And this
Okay.
last season, there's one of the girls, and I mean, like, they had barely seen each other and went to Mexico together. And
Okay.
every day she's telling him, I want flowers. I want flowers. Give me flowers. I
Interesting.
like presents. I want purses and this and that. And he's like, like trying to figure it out. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah, I'll give you flowers. When are you getting me my
Oh
flowers?
no,
When
you
are you
don't
gonna
ask
give me my
when. It's okay if you
flowers?
say I want those
They
things.
hadn't
Yeah.
even been together a week. And she's like, when are you gonna give me my flowers? When are you gonna give me my flowers? When are you gonna give me my flowers? And I was like, she is so annoying. It was so bad. And then the guy's talking to her. He's like, no, I know I'm gonna have to give you flowers. And,
Yeah.
I know you like nice purses, maybe like a, what do you say, Kate Spade bag. And she was like, ew, Kate Spade. Oh no, it has to be YSL or Gucci. And then it's just like, it's not about the gift. It's not about the thing.
Yes.
Like, you start putting so much value on the thing, and then you lose sight of the relationship and
Right.
like the gesture, what it meant.
Mm.
It's
The
like,
motive.
yeah, the motive, like whatever is given is not the, like, what should make you happy. It's like, I'm grateful for that.
Right.
But the fact that you thought of me and you love me and you care about me, that you wanted to go out of your way to do something,
Right.
that's the biggest present. That's
I
the
agree.
biggest gift
I
in
like
the
that.
gift. Right. So I think so many people lose sight of that because people become so materialistic and they're looking for the thing and not the fact that the love that created the thing.
I like that. It's well put. So I think, ultimately, if you're listening to us, our stance on this, and maybe you could agree with me or not, is balancing both.
Yeah.
You
100%.
gotta balance both, and I think that there needs to be surprises, a big surprise here and there,
Yes.
to make it, fun and adventurous, but also showing that I'm thinking about you consistently
Yes.
and frequently, and changing it up with that as well. So small plus big equals a long-lasting relationship, in our
Yes.
opinion. That's our stance on that, right? So let's go to the next one. I have a question for you. So if your partner expects a kind of act every day, okay, like every day, do you think that that also provides like micro moments, helping you stay connected, or does that just like help on surface level type of fixes?
I think that it like, if they expect it, it's a problem. But if it's something that is just done, the micro moments, I think it is special. If that spouse is giving those micro moments throughout the day, then I think, like you said, it starts to create a desire for the other person to say, oh
Right.
wow, they're doing something, they thought about me. Oh, you know what, I'm inspired, let me do that for them too. So I feel like you said earlier, when you start to give, then you also start to inspire to receive. But it's not doing it to receive, but it's like when you're doing it, it's a genuine thing you're doing, but then it starts to create that desire in the other person as well. And then I think the micro moments become like I think it's so funny because, like, for us, people look at us all the time and they're like, oh my gosh, you guys are goals, or you have this beautiful, like, oh, it's so cute, your relationship, and like, people have been around when you've come home and just brought me flowers or gave me a card, or like, oh my gosh, he does that, da, da, da. But it's like, those are the things that we do for each other. Like, throughout the day, I'll just go and make you a lunch or a dinner, make you a snack, or bake you some cookies and bring it to you, or just little things that I do for you out of my heart, and then you also do little things out of your heart, and so then it creates this really special place for us with our micro love.
Yes, it allows us to stay connected.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I mean, it has a lot to do with the love languages talk we had
Yes.
previous, and I don't think it is surface level to, if you ask in my opinion, I think it deepens the level. So, you got depth to the relationship, and you start to speak your certain type of language of like, well, I know that she's going to enjoy this gift because it's from my heart, and that gift is just by means as a gesture.
Exactly.
So I like that. I like that a lot. And so when it comes to like micro moments, like what are some action steps you would tell listeners if they want to either upgrade their relationship, or before they even go into one, make sure this is something that they can be very effective at, to make sure their spouse or the relationship that they're in is going to another level.
Well, I definitely think communication.
Man, I swear you're going to be a meme. I swear she's going to be a meme. If she's not
I
already, she's going to be a meme. Like,
I think communication is key. You have to talk about, how it makes you feel.
Okay.
If you do feel overwhelmed by the expectation or perceived expectation of these micro moments, I think that you need to talk about like a great way that you can have a sustained rhythm of, what feels comfortable for me versus what feels like love for you, and allow both partners to be able to have their opinion and their feelings heard
Mm.
without having to make it feel like a lot of pressure. I also think it's important to also maintain emotional intimacy and also position yourself to be able to really have those crucial conversations and really emphasize with each other, like, how does that emotionally make me feel, and
Mm.
create that space for each other. I think it's just openness, conversation, and just allowing it to really work. What about you?
No, I would agree. Ultimately, we all want to be intimate with who we're in connection with.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you start breaking down these micro moments, this is a way to be able to expand it on a whole other deeper level.
Mm-hmm.
So I think ultimately if you do that and if you're listening, I think you won't have an issue with again stability when it comes emotionally for your relationship, but also intimate. So
Mm-hmm.
you want emotional stability, but you also want emotional intimacy. You can have both of those together. Yeah, I think you're gonna be just right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Okay.
So, do you think men and women, they interpret the like small acts of love the same way?
No.
Why so?
I think again you said men and women, so men and women are two different, beings in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
So what I seek as an act of love could be completely different than what you might receive.
Mm-hmm.
And also the way that, and when I say receive, like we both receive, but the way that I appreciate it may be different.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for example, if I give you a payday candy bar,
Yeah,
that gesture to you means a lot
it
more.
sure does. I love my old people candy.
Right. Okay, get her some grandma candy. All right. But anyways, but if I gave you that from our conversations, from the way that I've seen you, light up by me handing that to you,
Mm-hmm.
that gesture, that small gesture, the way you receive it is completely different than the way I would ever receive a candy bar.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'll be like,
But I see the way that you react when I rub your shoulders,
yes,
or when when you're laying down and then I just come and put your head in my lap, or
yes.
things like that. Yeah, you're right. It just looks different. But maybe it's not just necessarily men and women. Maybe it's just like the love language that that person
I
has.
100% ultimately think it is always going to be connected back to the love language.
Mm-hmm.
But if generally speaking, men are more physical and visual, if you come with a gesture of you walk in with some lingerie, that's a different gesture to me
Yes.
than
Yes.
me. I would never be in lingerie. Let's be very clear. But you get what I'm saying? Like your visual, you know what I'm saying? Like those are two
Yeah.
different types of gestures, clearly, and the way that we receive it will be different as well.
Exactly.
You're right. Let's be very, very clear. All right.
You know what I think is funny is I do
What?
think that for men, like sexual gestures from women are like more favorable, and for women, or for men to give to women, would be more thoughtful gestures are more important.
Yes.
Yeah,
I would.
because men automatically are sexual, women are automatically more thoughtful. So
Emotional. Yeah.
like emotional. So emotional micro gestures to women
Yes.
feel special, and sexual micro gestures to men feels more special.
Oh man, we feel great. If you want the cheat code. What you want? You want a car today? You want a new diamond? What you want? You want a grand gesture happening? Give us that gesture, you'll get your grand gesture. That's how that works, right? So that's funny.
That's hilarious. Okay, final thoughts.
Final thoughts on this one would be ultimately connect with your spouse and sit down and have a conversation if you haven't already about what type of gestures mean, like what do they mean to you?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that like for this conversation, that cards mean a lot to you. If I
Mm-hmm.
write like, like what are the like what is it rank? What do you prioritize? Because again, what you receive as a gesture, as a small gesture, and I think about it may be different than how I receive it. So I think you just need to be very clear because we've had this communication consistently. So then I know, you know, okay, man, I would love to give her. Oh man, I saw that card. She loves cards. Oh, a candle. Oh man, if I got her a candle right now, she's been stressed with the kids. So if I get her a candle that helps her, and it says calm on it.
Yes.
Like,
I'm
like I
like,
said, like how could she get it?
oh,
Right?
you
Like
gave
so,
me
let,
calmness as a
yeah.
gift.
So let me go in and give her this candle, so I understand that we're here to help you what relax. Or if you want a
Yeah.
bottle of J Lord because you had a long week, okay, boom, right? Oh, you want a bubble bath because you've been with the kids, going, being an Uber driver for the kids all week. Then boom, like these small little things, ultimately gives me my grand gesture that I'm looking for. I'm
I
just
love
kidding.
it. I love it. I
That would
love
be
it.
that would be my fun little 2 cents on that.
I love that. Well, definitely connect with us on all of our social media, all
Yes,
that good stuff. We want to hear from you as well. What are
please.
your thoughts on this topic? What are some of your favorite micro gestures, or what are some things that you think that if we've missed anything here, need to be added to this conversation?
For real, yeah.
But as we're wrapping up today, as in this world that's consistently changing, and we want to continue to influx strong family and relationship values,
Mm,
leadership values, to those of you that are or are becoming endangered species. Because for the endangered species, as we know, survival, it isn't just important, but it's vital.
yes, it is.
And we just want to encourage you to continue to commit to your sense of purpose, continue to reach inside of yourself, find those things that may be endangered, pull them out, and let them shine bright for the world. But we are excited for you guys to be here today, and we will see you soon.
Yes, we will.